and welcome to This Car Pod.
I'm Filippo.
I'm Nick.
And there's a lot to talk about this week. A lot. Buckle up. Get started with the news. Ah, yes.
This is
Ferrari.
The Ferrari Luce, which means light in Italian.
Oh.
Here's what's in the news. We thought that we'd known for a while that Ferrari was going to make an EV. We thought it was going to be called the Elettrica or electric. No, it's called light. Different. But it's in the news because Joni Ive, who famously worked at Apple for a long time as their industrial designer, designed the iPhone 4, the iPad, the Apple Watch, a bunch of older Mac computers. His design firm designed the interior of this car. And Ferrari's done like a whole PR thing about it. And it's kind of interesting. It's obviously a departure from their prior language. So I wanted to go to Ferrari's site to go through it. So we can really understand what Joni Ive and his team did.
Okay.
They have a steering wheel input.
I want to start with that. I love how the steering wheel.
I know, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like a really cool, like vintage. You're going to go past it.
No,
of course,
I've gone.
but it's a really cool vintage looking steering wheel.
I love the steering wheel. It reminds me of producer Sean's 360 in a lot of ways.
It's
but
lighter,
It's very
too.
simple,
Even
elegant.
older though. Like it's even more. It
Yeah.
looks more like the old school, like wood wheels and the old school '60s stuff. It's really cool.
And it's supposed to be incredibly light. Apparently, their use of CNC machined aluminum means that it's lighter than their prior steering wheels by a substantial margin.
All right. Well,
You might be getting there, but one notable thing that I think is interesting, there's zero carbon fiber anywhere. They decided carbon fiber is dead, it's no longer cool, so they use different materials throughout, but refuse to do decorative carbon fiber.
yeah.
It's also interesting for the amount
Paddle
of
shifters in an EV, also interesting.
Very interesting.
So I've been in EVs that have shifted, but in most EVs that have paddle shifters, they use it to control the regen.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe that's what
That's
they do.
the case in this one. It's not the Kia style fake shifters.
So what are you going to say? You're going to complain about it. What are you going to say?
I'm not complaining about anything.
A lot of people online hate it. They all
Really?
I got to complain.
People think it looks too like modern and like not Ferrari, you know?
I think it looks very Ferrari. I don't love how the screen is integrated. I don't think that there is a way to do it elegantly, so I feel their pain. And on an EV, you need a big screen, but that, to me, if they could find a Bentley-style treatment where it's hideable, or it could like disappear into the dash.
Fun fact, by the way, this turns. It's on a swivel, so you can face it towards the driver.
Which
or
that
the
Cadillac Voyage I just reviewed had that, and I was like, more people should do this.
There we are.
This looks like a Jeep Wrangler dashboard, does it not? Or like some sort of mid-tier
Looks a
SUV.
little Ford GTE with the circle
Yeah,
vents.
but like the Ferrari's done circle vents, but like just a simple plane of horizontal.
I'm into it. Hopefully, it's not body colored painted in
To
plastic.
be honest, I'm surprised. I've never seen this before where the car introduces the driving
interior,
area and the dashboard before they've announced anything else. And by the way, we're going to be calling it the Loose. Do you agree? Right?
Of all the words that he said, I wouldn't have pronounced any of them the same, including Johnny Ive.
Joni Ive, isn't that how you say his name?
No, I'm sure you're correct, but I phonetically do not say it that way.
A couple of things that are interesting. A bunch of toggle switches and physical buttons.
Yeah.
Which is a good return after a lot of capacitive touch Ferrari things. The screens are kind of cool. Like the gauge design, I think, to find to be cool. It's like a couple of screens layered to give a 3D effect.
I think it's especially, a lot of the complaints I'm seeing, I think those people haven't been in modern Ferraris, which are already screen dominated. And I have to say, in a lot of modern Ferraris, the screen setup isn't, I don't know if you guys have spent time in brand new Ferraris, but the screen setup isn't great. You're doing it all in the steering wheel with these controls that aren't perfectly mirrored to what's actually going on. A lot of the infotainment is in the gauge cluster screen rather than in some sort of center screen because it's all driver focused. This is definitely a more traditional way to do it. Like people are like, this isn't very Ferrari. Well, I have a suspicion if the people who are complaining that got in an 812 or in an SF90, they would have the same complaint.
Also, that complaint, it's an EV. We're already way past that this isn't a normal Ferrari.
You know, the great irony of this is we're all debating this interior, and the truth is the car's not going to be popular, successful, or, or desirable.
It's an EV Ferrari. This is more sacrilegious than the SUV, or I'm sorry, what do they call it? The sports activity vehicle?
No, that was the
Sangue,
X5. The X5 was called
No,
the
but
sports
Ferrari
activity
also,
vehicle.
they wanted it to be the Ferrari utility vehicle. They did not want to call it an SUV.
I think BMW might still call the X5 the sports activity vehicle.
The SUV, they 100% do.
Wow.
I think this is cool. Obviously, Joni Ive is like, his thing is all like material. And the reason that Apple's so popular is that it's very material, glass, metal, circled edges.
Yeah.
So,
This picture right here, That they nailed. That should be the new standard for all Ferraris.
I agree. And I think any complaints about it are not taking into account that this really is an improvement over brand new I think a lot of people who are complaining like have only been in a 360 and so they don't like any screens in a Ferrari. This is way better. Yeah, go into an interior of a see, the whole thing is this.
Yeah.
There is no center screen and all of it is controlled with little steering wheel pads. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It really is. And I think that this new Joni Ives thing is a significant improvement. I really do.
Joni was like
if you go
Steve Jobs' right-hand man too. Like he's a big deal.
Like all of this, everything is controlled with switches like this. It's on the steering wheel primarily, but it's all done with that kind of stuff.
Don't you think it's interesting that they're declaring the death of carbon fiber? Like that is something Ferrari charges $100,000 for various carbon fiber things, and they're outright saying we think it's played out. We're tired of it. If it's decorative, we're not into it.
I think
only
Ferrari
for function.
would argue that all of the decisions they make are for purpose and function.
Yeah.
And in an electric car, we know we're not saving weight, so we're just going to put aside the fiction that that's what carbon fiber is for. I have a suspicion carbon fiber will retain its existence in other Ferrari
I kind of agree with them that I think carbon fiber is a little played out, especially.
Yeah, but it's played out by the pretenders, and Ferrari's one of the trendsetters.
But all carbon fiber and interior is pretty much pretenders. There's a couple times where they actually fab it. It's usually an overlay.
Dude, I could argue, black wheels. Like that,
those
Kia
are over
Sportage.
too. Those are all
yeah,
over
but
too.
every Ferrari's got. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like you saw. They're gonna keep doing carbon fiber. I promise. They make too much money off the optics.
They have to, as a publicly traded company. They've been ripping their customers off with hundreds of grand of this stuff that does no functional benefit or minimal.
Oh man, it's amazing. We still get press cars, but we do.
They're trendsetters. They got to move on. Apparently, they've been working together for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think this looks cool. I think it's great. I think that it is absolutely irrelevant because much more interesting to everybody is going to be this car, how it looks, how it drives, what it is. There's been speculation it's going to be a hatchback or a four-door hatchback.
They have confirmed 4 doors.
If that's true, like, why are we talking about the interior? We're on a 4-door electric car.
Maybe that's why they're introducing this first. It's
exactly
the least offensive part of the car. They want us to focus on this.
This is the only way they're going to get any attention on the car that's positive.
On the
is by
interior.
showing
Right. Yeah, because people would gloss over the benefit of this interior, which is okay, compared to what is going to be significant drawbacks of the vehicle itself.
Yep. Enzo wouldn't take an elevator, and now they're making EVs. Long way
That's
to
true.
come.
That's true. Enzo, in my opinion, was afraid of elevators. I don't think this is teased out in reality, but I've made this point.
It's
for
in Wikipedia.
If it is in Wikipedia, it's because I've been saying it for so long. It is fake. I have this thing with Ken where I told them that, of course, Ferraris are old school because Enzo would see an elevator and he'd hear the ding and he'd get freaked out. Enzo was like famously pastoral and he never traveled outside Italy. He was famously of his era, if you will. And so I have this thing that he was afraid of telephones and elevators, but I don't think any of that was actually true.
Or maybe it is.
We'll never know.
Okay, move on to the next news story, which is the huge news. The Rivian R2. I drove the Rivian R2. I'm one of a select few.
One of 10 at the most.
All right, there's me. There's Marquez,
Who we love.
who's much more legit than I am. There's Jerry Rig Everything.
Also, we love.
And then there's some fella from Motor Trend.
Sure.
And Matt Watson also. And this is a fantastic car. Are you worried that this car is going to be the only car because it's so good?
We live in Southern California, live in San Diego. I see a lot of R1s.
Yeah, R1s are around.
This is going to be, the only other car you see as many of is 4Runners. And this seems like it combines a Rivian and a 4Runner.
It's like a Rivian and a 4Runner in one car.
And that's all there is in Southern California.
I totally think that. And I made the point to them that I think it's going to, no one is going to buy an R1 now.
No, you
and
want
they're
third
like,
row.
no way.
You want third row? You want to pick up?
Tesla just canceled their third row.
There's a trim in the Model Y I think is available.
They now just added but they had the third row on the Model Y before and nobody bought
a third row.
Huh?
You know where else they had a third row?
The Model S had a back face.
That's right. This is based on what you said in your review, which I legitimately watched all of, which is not always true.
Oh wow!
This is going to be has the potential to be an incredibly well
I am even more positive about this car now than I was when I was doing the video.
Yeah.
I think it is, and by the way, since that time, between when I recorded the video and now, I have seen pricing,
which is not revealed. Right?
Not allowed to disclose pricing. It could be $1 billion. However, it isn't, and it's actually quite compelling.
Yeah.
And that makes me like the car even more. You know, it's funny because they spent a lot of time talking at this launch about how it doesn't have some of the R1's cool suspension stuff like air suspension. But by virtue of being a smaller and unibody vehicle, in my opinion, it drives just as well, if not better.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic car, especially for the price point. This is a fantastic car. I truly think one of the very best EVs. I think that probably the best EV I've ever been around.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow.
Better than the Luce?
Well done.
The Teslas, when they first came out, were also unbelievable cars. But this reminds me of that. This is like a Tesla, but without the kind of weenie,
Isn't it
played
weird?
out styling.
Yeah.
Tesla's like hanging it up and saying we're just quietly exiting and going into robots, and Rivian sitting in their stride.
Which is good. I mean, Rivian needs to, right? Like financially they very much need
this
for
car. It's very important that it succeeds, and I hear from a lot of people that they're excited by the R3. Mostly, I hear that from enthusiasts. I think that this car will sell to regular people in massive numbers.
It's like your Sentra review did all the views on YouTube, even though us enthusiasts could care less. This is going to appeal to a lot of people, and the R3 is all our buddies.
Imagine a 4Runner, except like in the modern era.
Yeah.
Yep.
With better ride, the similar off-road capabilities, much more power, better technology.
And the styling. The styling, so many EVs, the styling is so bland and vanilla, or weird and polarizing.
Yep.
This we're all used to. It's not polarizing, and it's pretty attractive.
It's pretty attractive. I was truly astonished by just the overall level of competence that this pre-production car that I was driving had. And I can't imagine they don't sell a zillion of these. My point on the R1 is that, like, Rivian's like, no, there's going to be people who want the R1. I don't think that the R1 is visually distinct enough or distinct enough in other ways. The reason that the full-size Range Rover still sells, even though they have other models, is that the full-size Range Rover has this kind of boss look and presence. To me, this looks just, and in fact, they had an R2 and an R1 next to each other in the design studio and did a walk around. It's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah.
Even though there are massive physical size differences,
Interesting.
the appearance is so similar. I don't think people are going to say, I want an R1 for the clout, because I don't think, honestly, there's going to be significant
It'll be
clout.
people that want the size. I fall into that
It'll
category.
only be people who want the size.
Or
But that's
1,200
fine.
horsepower.
Yeah, but this is already doing 0 to 60 in some incredibly quick. I can't remember what I'm allowed to
they
talk
may
about it.
come out with a higher power version eventually.
This is the hard part of being a small company, right? Like a large manufacturer, if Ford built these, they would have a redesign of the R1S coming in a year or two. Rivian almost certainly can't. They don't have the engineering resources, they don't have the factory resources to do that. And so they will probably have to accept that R1S sales and R1T sales probably go down for a while till they can actually invest in. Till R3 comes out, till whatever they want to have come out before it. And then they either sunset.
I'm sure they modeled that out though and said, all right, we'll cannibalize a little internal sales, but we will reach such a massive more audience between the price point and the size that it doesn't matter.
This car's going to hit. It's also global. It's unlike the R1s, which are not really available for sale in other markets. You don't think that matters? Model Y is the best-selling car in the world. How is this not a Model Y, but better? Explain that. Explain that, Mr. Shrug. Mr.
Tesla has had sales infrastructure across the world for 15 years now.
Yeah, but there was a time when they didn't.
Decade, I should say. Sure, but I haven't seen Rivian make moves yet.
They're ready.
Really do that.
This thing will be the pride of Turkey. This thing, when you go to Islamabad, they're going to be everywhere. This thing will be the #1 best-selling car in Kuala Lumpur, second only to a rebadged 2009 Honda Accord.
Large jump forward, if you will. The normal Illinois factory better start producing a lot of cars.
Well, they're building a factory in Georgia. Did you know that?
Yes.
They're building a factory in Georgia.
Country or the state?
No,
The state.
United States, Georgia. America. But they're sick of union labor in Illinois.
They've retooled the normal factory for the R2.
I don't know what's going on. I didn't ask factory questions. I didn't want to get into it. One of the things they told me about the factory in normal is that it's hard to get to it. I think this is why Mitsubishi failed. This is a theory. It's one of several I'm going to posit on today's
still an
podcast.
active automaker.
Not really.
Okay.
Right. And the reason is they had this factory in Illinois, and when they wanted to visit it and say, no, you got to make a different car, they had to fly to Chicago, and then they had to take like a 3-hour bus ride to the factory.
Far.
And I think that like 9-hour experience, they were just like, you know what, we're going to let them continue building the Eclipse because it's just too hard to go down there. And I think by building the factory in Georgia near the Atlanta airport, that's easy to get to. You see my point?
The plan is for the R2 to shift production to Georgia in 2028.
Doug's the kind of guy that says before the podcast, we got to start taking this more seriously. and then posits a
This
theory
is a
that
real
Mitsubishi
theory.
is dead because
Wait,
they
wait
were
a second.
inconvenient to his favorite airport.
Not my favorite airport.
Nobody's favorite airport, I'll tell you that much.
Atlanta, you can fly it on.
You
no
love
problem.
Atlanta.
Normal Illinois, it is impossible to get to. This is all real, okay?
Yes.
Remember, keep in mind, the Normal Illinois factory has given us now several great products. The Plymouth Laser RS Turbo, that was
Okay.
the first,
Okay.
and the Eagle Talon Mitsubishi Eclipse, and now Rivian.
Speaking of, on the last
Where
pod,
is
we
this
asked
going?
what was the worst rebadge or relaunch?
Eclipse Cross.
The Eclipse.
Yeah.
We missed that.
Yeah.
Big miss.
That was a
Rebadge?
tough retro.
or, you know,
like a
relaunch.
relaunch of
a
an old
story brand.
Stuff. Are you worried that the Georgia factory in Social Circle, Georgia, is an hour away from the Atlanta airport?
No, I'm not worried about it personally. I legitimately, though, I truly think this is a massive success car.
I
And
hope
if they
so.
actually follow this with R3 next year or maybe early the year after, Rivian, like,
Yeah.
even in the world where EVs are not as popular, not as successul,
This'll be
this
the
is
market.
such a great
Yeah.
car.
It's interesting. I distinctly remember your Lucid Air video where you were basically like, this is an incredibly good car. Because it is. The Lucid Air, reliability aside, is an incredibly good
Probably
car.
the best EV.
But it did always feel like that didn't have the market fit. This feels like
Yeah.
incredibly good car from early impressions, and also a
The right
real
car for the market. I
demand
think if the
driver.
market was really looking for $120,000 luxury sedans, the Lucid Air would have been a massive success.
Yeah, turns
but
out.
ultimately, it's not. Nor is it looking for $100,000 minivans.
Right.
And more relevant, the Gravity is a design flop that will never reach this level of success. Like the Gravity
I
is a
don't necessarily-
minivan. This looks cool.
I don't necessarily consider it a design flop. I think it's too expensive, and I think the look is not great. But to your point, this is, and more than even Model Y.
Yeah.
People want boxy. Look at
I know.
Telluride. Look
Totally.
at G-Wagon. These are global. There's a global design interest in these boxy vehicles that now Rivian has come out.
Agreed. They've
It's going
nailed
to
it.
sell in America. It's going to sell in Canada, and it's going to sell in Kuala Lumpur.
And the rest of the world
Kuala Lumpur.
included, maybe.
What is that rebodied Honda Accord? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Proton Perdana.
Oh, the
ladies and gentlemen.
Proton. Yeah, the Malaysian brand.
That's what I'm saying, Kuala Lumpur.
No, I know.
You think I'm making any of this up?
I wanted
Move on.
the viewers to know that you were right. Support for today's episode comes from Square, and they've got some big updates. During their biannual releases event, they rolled out a bunch of new tools to help local businesses run faster, smarter, and honestly just with way less stress. From AI that answers real business questions to tools that simplify orders and track every dollar, it's built for people actually running businesses day to day. I've personally seen Square in action a lot. Like when I go to my local coffee shop with producer Sean at Ultrea Coffee in Ocean Beach, they just have everything dialed in. Tap to pay, text receipts instantly, no awkward waiting around. It feels modern and easy, and you can tell that the system behind the counter just works. They use Square, and it shows. What's cool now is Square AI. You can literally ask, what were my top sellers last month? What's my slowest day? And it gives you the answers right away in a chart or report. And their new financial suite also helps you see where your money's going. It allows you to compare supplier prices and even automatically set aside money for taxes or slower months. And Square just launched its most powerful tools yet, designed to give local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. If you're ready to sell smarter, run faster, and stress less, right now you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/carpod. That's SQUARE.com/GO/carpod. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
Move on.
All right. Speaking of
All right.
something,
Here's the deal about this Grand Tour situation. Nick's, all right, what are you going to say?
Nothing.
I'm not going to say anything. I have a lot of faith that it's going to work out. They finally have confirmed, after we already knew it, that the Grand Tour, which was, okay, so there was Top Gear, and then they got kicked off the air for hitting somebody or something.
yeah.
They went over to Amazon and did the Grand Tour.
Yep.
This is Hammond, James, May, and Jeremy Clarkson. Then eventually they retired because they got old
And rich.
and rich. And
Yeah.
then the Grand Tour stopped. And now the Grand Tour has restarted, except it's with 3 new people.
Yep.
James and Thomas, who we know from Throttle House.
They're delightful humans.
Delightful folks, great YouTube channel. If you haven't already seen it, go watch it right now. Literally stop watching the podcast
Yep.
or listening. No, and then there's the other fellow.
Yeah. Francois something.
The train guy. That's all I know. He's in the train.
There's been a little there's been a little anxiety in the automotive community that Francois Bourgeois
Yeah. Incredible.
maybe isn't
Francis.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe isn't like the person we were hoping would for, right? And I think that they have really gone out of their way to try to pitch us to make sure that we believe that he's right? Like even in Throttle House's like opening announcement video, they had to be like, no,
Something.
he's good. But he might be. He
might be.
I don't want to say anything yet. I think it's totally inappropriate to make those kinds of statements now. I truly believe that. So I'm totally willing to let it happen and see what. I just think it's odd because none of us, we don't have like
We don't know.
a knowledge of this.
But a lot of people that you think would be good on cameras together aren't.
Yeah.
And the opposite is also
Yeah.
true. People that
Like-
you might not know that well, that might not, like, from the little information you have, feel like, yes, they'd fit well, do.
Yeah.
I totally agree. On this podcast, Filippo and I work really well together, and we let our weird, quirky,
In real life, boy, is that
slightly,
not true.
Yeah.
someone who's
Nick.
On
Nick,
a
everybody
spectrum.
knows
I'm
you're
not sure which
crazy.
spectrum, but a
Everybody
spectrum.
knows you're crazy.
No.
Nick, they do.
Filippo and I are the James and Thomas, and you are Train Boy. You collect license plates.
Nick, you're insane. You're literally insane.
I've done nothing crazy.
Okay, I'm just going to move on from that.
Do we know when it's coming out? We don't yet, right?
I haven't paid attention to that.
No, I'm excited.
Do you think that any ill will I have towards the train fella
Francis.
is because is like I said, is because I myself am jealous that they didn't bring me on the show?
I think there's. Should somebody tell you about their travel schedule? Because I think that will
Yeah.
make you quickly unjealous.
Do they go past the Hyundai building on
I think they go past 100 billion to 4 or 5,
Yeah.
at least weekly.
Yeah, no, I thought about this, that I belong there in this picture next to a 350Z.
That is your kind of car.
And
I
I'm
don't know about the
upset.
bumper.
And I'm upset that I'm not.
Ryan Lopez should have been the third.
Yeah,
Ryan Lopez. I got
he
a
would have been a
story
good
for you,
fit.
folks. Ryan, he's one of our people.
he's in a lot of the content on the Carson Bit
He's
channel.
in some of the content. So he comes in today, he's late. And
Typical.
he says, do you know the story yet?
No.
He comes in
It's a
today,
good
he's
one.
late. He's late for the he comes in and he says, I'm sorry I'm late. He says, my air conditioning broke at home and I couldn't sleep. Now, it's February. And even here in San Diego, we checked it last night, it got down to 50 degrees. His air conditioning, that's what he said. His air conditioning broke. So anyway, that's a tough break for him.
That's a tough one.
Send. We're going to create a Gmail account. Ryan needs help 12@gmail.com.
Producer Sean doesn't even have air conditioning. All he has is a bad colored G-Wagon.
Yes.
I will say, I am excited that they finally formally announced that they're the Grand Tour host, because that probably means that we're getting closer, that we're closer to seeing some good.
I am excited. I'm legitimately excited to see this come back. I have to be honest, I had kind of stopped watching the Grand Tour with the guys. It had kind of run its course by the end, but I'm truly excited for the new cast to come back in. I think most people I know feel the same way.
We don't know Francis, but we do legitimately love Thomas and James.
Yeah, no, and I could see myself loving France. I've watched some of this
We just
content
don't
now.
know.
I'm ready for it to happen.
We just don't know
You
yet.
got any thoughts on these
Yeah.
people?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't watch Top Gear ever.
Oh yeah,
What?
that's right.
I
forgot
didn't
about
watch
that.
the Grand Tour.
Move on. He
I
doesn't
have
know
nothing
anything.
to
Move
add.
on.
Move on to the next news story.
mean, I've seen
Nick, any thoughts on this?
Nope.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Nope. All right. Toyota announced today that or a few days ago, really, that they have a new CEO.
Was it actually announced that Toyota is abdicating the throne because he thinks that the fun path that he had set the company on is not the right path?
No. So
he's just old. He's retired.
He has not been the CEO for the last few years. There was a guy who was the CEO for a bit who's going to remain as like the chief commerce officer.
we had been
chief
told
industry
that he
officer.
had set a new direction for the company,
And
though.
he is still the chairman. He is still above the CEO, just not as involved day to day. Koji Sato who has been for the last 3 years, is going to become the vice chairman and the chief industry officer. And then the finance guy, Kenta Khan, will become the CEO.
The direction of Toyota in the last few years is is clearly been set on a more enthusiast-friendly, fun car.
It's going to
path.
be interesting to see what happens. He
Like
said,
clearly, like it has become clear quickly. Like there have been high performance
totally.
versions of a lot of cars. I mean, when I was 16, Toyota was like the most boring, bland. Like people laughed at how kind of bad it had gotten, kind of brand.
It's going to be interesting. So in the press conference, I'm going to read you a couple quotes from Kenta Khan. They include that his mission is to create a war chest for the car company to take courageous challenges. And he also said, I'm a guy that loves numbers. I'm a guy that loves money. I always think about money and creating a financial foundation so that we can make good cars.
Nick, what do you think about the fact that he loves numbers?
And money.
I feel like letting the bean counters make the decisions is often not the best path forward for innovation, for certainly enthusiasts, right? Like sounds to me like we're going to enter another bland era. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the guy.
It's interesting, right? So he was actually Toyota's like personal secretary for a long time. They're very close. And so I do wonder if some of the like passion for cars has been instilled in him as a result of that. It's also interesting. Toyota owns a lot of things.
Right.
They own large stakes in
Subaru.
Mitsubishi. They own a lot of Subaru, which we're seeing come play out in a lot of their EV decisions. Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of other kind of development things, and it's interesting, like how much of the actual running of the company and how many of those decisions come to him versus will he be more focused on the financial structure of things, even as CEO.
I think too, you got peacetime CEOs, wartime CEOs. The automotive industry is heading through a lot of change, like EVs, hybrids. Toyota has famously sort of leaned into hybrids and sort of shied away from EVs, although new story coming soon to the contrary. But it's going to be a tricky time where you do need someone who's a little bit more cautious, just to say, do we want to be like Ford and invest all this money in EVs and then write down $5 billion of losses? Do we want to ignore them entirely and let BYD take our position? Like it's a tough time. So I think you do need someone who's pretty rational and careful.
I don't know. It's really interesting all in all. Like during the press conference, somebody also did ask him whether he is a car guy. And he kind of said, eh. And the former CEO said that he loves minivans. Like the Voxy
Like you.
and then the
Does
Noah.
it bother you that this guy is like you?
I'm just jealous.
You're jealous.
I will. It's
You got
interesting.
better hair.
Toyota, thank you. Toyota has had a record year in a lot of ways. They've pushed up their thanks to the Sequoia TD Pro. They've pushed up their targets for next year and the kind of the expectations that they communicate out. It's a kind of a weird time to transition out CEOs when the last CEO has had a generally positive
Well, sometimes
position.
people retire, Filippo.
But he's moving to a different role-ish.
Sometimes people just want to spend time with their kids.
They just want to have fun.
Which takes me back to the Jony Ive thing.
Yeah.
This guy designed the iPad and the iPod and the iTouch.
Yeah.
And he's still working.
Yeah. He also
Chill,
sold
All these tech guys end up moving to Costa Rica. Once they realize the havoc they've wreaked on the world from their tech jobs, they all like move off grid to Costa Rica. That's like the usual path.
By the way,
of things.
not only that, but he started a company called Love From alongside another designer, and OpenAI purchased it last year for $6.5 billion.
This dude could be just chilling.
He could be chill, but I think he loves working for Ferrari.
All right. This is the Toyota situation. There's more Toyota coming momentarily.
There we go.
You want to talk about this?
Sure. The new Highlander is going to be all EV, not a hybrid, not available with a ICE motor or anything like that. All
Hard to
EV.
believe.
You could see the design language. So the Highlander's always been a little soft and rounded and kind of inoffensive. I wouldn't say that this is bold, but it reminds me more of like the new Telluride in terms of it's a little more edgy, a little bit more angular.
No, I agree with that.
It's more aggressive
well,
than
sure,
the outgoing.
compared to all the other, he's right. All the other Highlanders have been kind of swoopy, except for the third gen Highlander, which is the greatest designed vehicle in American
And
history.
you're calling that one not swoopy and rounded?
It was harder. It was more aggressive. Pull up a third gen Highlander. Pull up a third gen Highlander. I want to see it.
But it is, again, as we just talked about with Toyota, they have sort of not done a lot of all EV ones, and this is one of their most important vehicles. It is the midsize SUV that a lot of families pick.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they've always been kind of vanilla with it, is that they just they don't want to offend the soccer moms or the people that just want a point A to point B vehicle. So this is, by Toyota standards, a risky move.
It's super risky, I think, to go full. Oh, you're not going to.
No, we looked at it long enough. By the way, the third gen 403 or Highlander is still basically the Highlander.
No. The third gen Highlander is still basically the Highlander. I agree.
No, like it is still the one for sale, pretty much.
No, there's a fourth gen.
It looks like
I
there's
think
a Grand Highlander.
I am astonished that they go all electric with this. So the big rivals like the EV9 and the Ioniq 9, which are actually selling in pretty good numbers, but not like the Highlander. I mean, this is taking one of the most popular products and going EV. Now, Filippo's retort is going to be, wait a second, they have come out in the last couple of years with the Grand Highlander,
Yeah.
gas-powered, and that car has been a massive success to the point where it now seems like what they're really poised to do is have a gas and an electric Highlander.
And
one will be the Highlander, one will be the Grand Highlander, but it sounds like they're going to be about the same size.
I also think the 4Runner now has a third row, and a lot of people got the Highlander for the third row. So you kind of already have a few, and frankly, the Land Cruiser is also in there. They've got a lot of overlap, so I think they can kind of risk the Highlander brand. And then if people don't like it, that's fine. You've got 3 other Toyota SUVs of the same size.
I am nonetheless a little bit surprised. Land Cruiser does not offer a third row, by the way. It's a Sequoia.
No, I know it doesn't, but I mean, in terms of if you want a mid-sized Toyota SUV,
Right.
you got choices if you don't want to.
I am a little bit surprised, though, that Toyota, who sat out the EV game for the last 20 years, right? Tesla Model X S comes out in 12, the Volt's 10. These are the first EVs 20 years ago. And Toyota's been taking a wait and see approach. And then they finally jump in. They cancel their most popular vehicle in favor of a full electric. It's like, damn, okay. That's pretty legit.
If you were going to risk a nameplate, wouldn't it be the Crown Signia?
The Crown
just came
Signia,
out.
I guess it's more recently redesigned.
that car's not selling. No one's buying
right.
that car.
So replace it with.
I think what they're.
Global
I
car.
truly think what they're trying to do is create a alternative electric Highlander, gas Highlander.
Yeah.
And what that's going to be is the electric
Grand.
Highlander and the Grand Highlander,
Yep.
which probably has a stronger nameplate now. People think it's more luxurious, whatever.
No, the Wagoneer did the opposite, though.
Well, the Wagoneer is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I know, but putting Grand in front of it, maybe it makes it sound less bad.
I think that putting Grand in front of it makes people think that it's bigger and more luxurious. And so you could buy the Highlander, it's an EV, which is cool, or you can buy the Grand Highlander, which is grand and it's cool. But either way, they'll have a car for you in this segment.
Their current positioning of the Grand Highlander, which I think doesn't, the base one doesn't have a hybrid, and maybe all Highlanders now are hybrid. Who remembers?
It's cheaper than the regular
cheaper,
Highlander?
apparently. To start.
There was a problem
clearly-
here already.
Clearly, they're trying to kind of fix that. The Highlander, you'll remember, got a small facelift in 24, but didn't get a full redesign. The Grand Highlander was a whole new model. I bet it's aging out.
Yeah.
Why replace
the
it with a
question
car
was-
that already exists?
The question was, do we replace it with a fairly similar sized vehicle, or do we do something a little bit more radical?
Especially when everybody else, the Telluride, the Palisade, are a little bit bigger than the Highlander.
Yeah.
they're
more
the
Grand
Grand
Highlander
Highlanders.
side.
I think
The
they
great-
needed to adjust to compete, and they may as well reuse
The great irony, of course, is these two cars basically identical, have them on sale. These two cars basically identical, and Toyota's like, yeah, that's no problem. No big deal.
One interesting thing, you may recall that the BZ, what used to be called the ZV4X, not just the BZ, has a twin called the Subaru Solterra. The BZ Woodland, which is the wagon version, has a twin at Subaru called
The Trailseeker. I'm
Trailseeker.
getting a BZ Woodland next week. I cannot wait.
The CHR, which has just been announced, has a twin at Subaru called the...
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I gave you this.
No,
You
I
didn't
knew
know
that.
this
Of
until I
course
gave
knew.
you it.
Of course I knew.
What is
It's
it?
called the Uncharted.
Wow.
The Highlander EV will also have a twin at Subaru.
Really?
Which will mean that Subaru, for the first time ever, has 2 3-row SUVs.
I can't believe that I thought we got rid of badge engineered twin cars in like 1996.
We're back.
We're back.
Fully back.
Like the Solterra and the BZ4X is embarrassing how similar and bad they are.
Apparently they're better. Apparently they're better.
They are better. They're like more affordable and the range is longer.
The
I
great-
truly can't wait for the BZ Woodland.
Same. The Subaru ones tend to be cheaper. Makes no sense. Regardless, the new Highlander, 3 rows, either 6 seats or 7, only 2 seats in the third row, 320 miles of range.
Yeah.
In at least one of the trims. It'll be interesting. It looks fun.
I think it makes sense. It is amazing to me the number of people who ask me, I want an electric 3-row. And the only thing that is available to them is the
Kia Hyundai.
EV9 and the Ioniq 9.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 and Ioniq 9.
Yep. They're at
Which
least
are popular.
consistent.
I
Yep.
have a ton of friends who have bought these vehicles simply because it was kind of the only game in town.
And now Honda's entering it.
You don't
But-
like Toyota maybe even too.
That's what I meant,
You
sorry.
don't like how this looks, I assume, right?
No, I do.
Really?
Have you seen the back, though?
You're going to end up with one, aren't you? All
Possible.
talk about you getting some cool something.
Well, we got to get my wife into something new this year.
yeah.
EX90, they haven't sold many, but so they're around.
I love the X90.
They've sold like 4,000 last 2 years. It's tough.
What I'm going to do, if my wife doesn't make up her mind on what she wants, I'm going to do one of those Christmas things where you just show up with one on a
I did that once.
Yeah?
How to get
how to
agreed
go
on the
up?
car beforehand.
Oh.
We already
No,
knew.
I want like pure surprise. I made a huge financial decision without your input.
That's a great SNL skit. All right.
Last week, I told you about my chicken legs. This week, we're going to talk about my abs, or lack thereof. They say that abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. And that's where today's sponsor, Factor, comes into play. I've been trying to eat more healthy, more balanced vegetarian meals during the week, but I don't have time for all of that. I got to go film YouTube content, I've got to do my day job, and I've got 2 kids. Factor makes this all easy for me with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. So I can eat well without planning or cooking, and I can work on not just my chicken legs, but my rock hard abs too. What I've been loving lately are all the vegetarian options. As you may or may not know, I am vegetarian, although I sometimes eat meat and sometimes eat fish, but mostly vegetarian. Regardless, Factor has something for everyone, and the flavors are actually legit. Not just healthy for the sake of healthy, no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. It's the kind of food I'd cook if I had the time and patience after a long day. They rotate over 100 meals every week, so there's always some variety. You've got high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean, GLP-1 support. Whatever is wrong with you in your diet, they can help you out. Recently, I've been checking out their Muscle Pro collection for both the chicken legs and the abs. Whether your goal is healthier eating, cutting back on meat, calorie management, or just simplifying your routine, you pick what works. And the convenience is huge. Always fresh, never frozen, ready in about 2 minutes. No prep, no stress. I use this and you should too. Head on over to factormeals.com/cars50off and use code cars50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active.
Okay, next news story. There's a
Nio.
car coming out of a parking garage in Asia.
This is Nio. Nio is a Chinese EV manufacturer, and they are the only ones that are doing battery swaps at scale.
Yeah.
So they've done over 100 million battery swaps.
Yeah.
100 million.
Wow. Yep.
This
Think
is
about
like
that.
real technology. This is not.
So
we've
explain
done
it,
a couple.
explain it. Car
but
drives
I wanna-
into a-
You drive into a Nio power building. It takes about 3 minutes on average.
Wow.
3
and
minutes.
Then you leave with a fully charged battery pack. It basically changes it from the battery pack not really being yours in the same way.
The battery
but you
pack
can
is no
just
longer
sit in 3
yours.
minutes.
However, the benefit is that you get a swap as quickly as a fuel.
Yeah,
a
you
fuel
don't have to
fill.
worry about your
incredible.
full
So
range
you
anymore.
show up with the depleted battery, and
Yep.
you come out with a fully charged battery that they've been sitting there charging.
Yep.
And you're on your way in
It's
3
right.
minutes.
We've known that this technology existed.
Yeah.
It is stunning that it's actually been in use for enough to get to a real number of
100
swaps.
million.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you something. This changes. If I could do an R2 with a battery swap, I'm there.
Yep.
What,
They have about
what vehicles
4,000
can they do this on? Is it only certain
all,
cars?
all of their Nio products, I think.
Okay, so they're the manufacturer.
They're the manufacturer
as
of
well.
the car, yeah.
Gotcha.
And they have something like 3,800 swap stations, including some in Europe. And
Wow.
they're planning on building another 1,000 this year.
What's cool too is you could buy a used EV and like you don't have to care about the health of the battery. Like you could just
Yeah, I mean, what do they do about that? Car will come in and the battery's at 60%, and then
Yeah.
they replace it with one. You know what I mean?
It changes it. It changes it from the battery being some. My recollection, which I might be slightly incorrect, is that you leased a vehicle and you leased a battery pack separately. So like the battery
Yeah.
pack is not part of the car.
It's like a
I
subscription.
remember
Really?
when Tesla talked about doing
Yeah.
this. One of the things they talked about was you have to have at some point eventually go back and get your battery again.
Oh no, I think that's just straight up. You don't.
Do you
own the
remember
battery
that?
pack.
That
Yeah.
was like the thing about we can do the swap, and they did it in one of those Elon Musk presentations on camera.
Yep.
They like did it, but he was like, but it became out that like you would have to eventually go back and get your battery again.
Yep. But my understanding is that like just the battery is something that you're
Yeah.
renting. Really, you're renting it for a use.
In theory, I think this would drive much more widespread EV adoption.
Totally.
I also wonder what will happen. Like,
Plus,
will
you don't need chargers anymore.
Yeah.
At homes,
Right.
the apartment dwellers and the street parkers.
Yep. And will it mean that you, as technology improves, maybe now you'll suddenly have a new battery pack that has twice the range?
Yeah.
Because battery tech has improved or whatever. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Or it's like, you know, you're kind of broke and you're like, I can only put $5 of gas in. Like, give me one of the crappy batteries.
I don't think that. Yeah, maybe. I think it's incredible. It's insane. that's not
Incredible,
part of the
amazing
conversation.
technology. Another Chinese innovation, which brings us to our next news story.
Ford had a tough Q4 / last year.
Yeah.
They got hit with what they're calling a surprise tariff. They were expecting, what, 400 million, and it ended up being 900 million?
Here's what happened. They expected that they would be able to apply credits for the USMCA. So basically for parts produced in Mexico, the US, or Canada, those are tariff exempt. You
Yep.
get credits for them. They thought those would apply going back to May, but actually they apply going back to November, something thereabouts. And so it's a much less tax savings for the year than they expected.
I thought the more interesting thing is they said they lost $5.4 billion on EVs last year. So those subsidies going away, which I'm sure is the point you're about to make, makes it really difficult for American auto manufacturers like
interesting.
Ford to continue doing that.
Between the tariffs coming in and the subsidies going away, it seems like we've hurt our own auto industry more than more than whatever the hell the goal was supposed to be for the tariffs and the depletion of the subsidies.
Yep. I do have an interesting question. Jim Farley, well liked in the car enthusiast community because he's a car guy.
Yeah.
Is he a good CEO for Ford?
Well,
I really don't know anymore.
I don't think that Jim Farley made this isn't a Jim Farley decision. The EV write down is going on with every automaker right now.
For sure. But you got to wonder. GM doing better financially. They have been relatively on track with the expectations that they've set with Wall Street. They've been producing about the number of cars, selling about the number of cars, gross profits where do they want to be. Ford's has not been consistent.
I think that
and
Ford
might
made a
bring
big
back
bet on electric cars that seemed like the right decision at the time.
Yeah,
They
it
had
did.
two.
Yeah, but they were spending a ton of money developing other stuff, and the Lightning was a massive thing that they had to deal with that has now been completely diminished. They also put on a huge amount of money into Rivian and other.
They exited that years ago.
Yeah, but there were other EV investments that they made that they like completely wrote down and had massive paper losses.
They also did shift away from all lower priced vehicles and non-SUVs,
Which
and now they're going to bring back.
They announced that might come back.
Bring back
We
sedans.
don't want sedans back. Give us the EcoSport with the EcoBoost.
Nice. But yeah, tough little news cycle for Ford.
It is interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I thought the whole tariffs thing was supposed to help the Americans.
Yeah. Also,
What happened with that?
It's going to be interesting. One of the news stories that's vaguely car related that's going to be interesting to watch is there's a new bridge that's been built connecting Detroit and Canada.
Detroit and Canada. You can go from Detroit to Canada.
I recognize the phrasing that's weird, but that is the best way to describe it. It has been paid for entirely by the Canadian government and a little bit by Michigan. The president of the U.S. has said that he might block the opening of it. But it's interesting because it's like a major shipping port back and forth because the
What are they
current
gonna
bridge
do
is
with the old
privately owned.
bridge?
They're going to keep it, is my understanding, but it's privately owned. Are you aware of this?
No, that's interesting.
The
I like
Ambassador
that.
Bridge is privately owned and also a major blockage to bringing things in and out.
10 years ago in the Bay Area, they had the Bay Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They connected San Francisco and whatever's on the other side there. And then they built a new Bay Bridge and they called it the New Bay Bridge. And they
Clever.
They took away the old one. And I think that what they should have done instead was stop maintaining it, but still allow people to drive on it at a lower toll amount, sort of at their own risk. Do you know what I'm saying? And just after a while, that would become untenable. But like then you have two bridges, like just let it happen. You know what I mean?
Just let the pores fall into the water.
I don't even think it would be poor people for a while. I think it would be like whichever one has less traffic.
Yeah.
But then eventually, I think there would become like
like the real life Hunger Games or Beast Games of the world. Just
but it would save people a lot of time.
imagine with these heavy EVs too, like that would
Imagine
get more
if
interesting.
I'm talking about double the bridge traffic though. Like you could,
Hummer EV
the
sounds
output,
right.
the bridge traffic, instead of just one, you got two.
Like the upper lower level of the George Washington.
something like that. But here there's an upper lower on both bridges.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I legitimately recommend that you do a Wikipedia deep dive on the Ambassador Bridge? It's fascinating. The bridge was publicly traded.
Oh,
The corporation that owned the bridge was publicly traded. And then,
it SPAC?
a guy named Manuel Moran, who's like a billionaire from Grosse Pointe, slowly bought it.
so we could just own the only link between Detroit and Canada if we wanted to. Not anymore though.
Apparently, well, the other bridge isn't open yet.
The point of this is that Ford's in trouble and it's all going to hell. And Nio is winning again.
Nio's winning again.
What did I hear about Ford and BYD in terms of sales?
BYD overtook them in global sales.
That's interesting.
There's also a
BYD,
conversation of a partnership between them. on
BYD,
manufacturing.
a company that no one had heard of
Build your dreams.
16
man.
months ago.
Which is not what it stands for, but nevertheless.
It's a backronym?
Yeah.
It's a company that no one had heard of 16 months ago is now selling more cars than Ford. People.
Well, they have
Meanwhile,
karaoke in their car.
Nio has done 100 million battery swaps. Like, this is it. Sean told me that in Mexico, 20% of cars sold in Mexico are Chinese now.
Yeah.
This is it. They're selling in Canada. This is it. You're seeing it happen in real time, something I've been screaming about on this podcast for now 8, 10
for
episodes.
the entire length of the time that BYD has been around.
Yeah, totally. BYD didn't even exist when we started this podcast, and I said that one day there will be a Chinese company that overtakes us all, and now it has happened. Next news story, please.
Established 2003, if you're curious.
Yeah.
Slightly off.
All right. I don't think this is real.
This is a
I'm
real
going
thing.
to
Okay.
put my head in the sand about this news story.
All right. The Mercedes has announced the GLC 53. This is an E something. sorry, C something, but they've actually announced the GLC 53, which is a 6-cylinder AMG car. So the GLC 63 most recently and the C63 have been 4-cylinder, turbocharged, maybe twin charged, nobody remembers, but that's going away. The GLC 43 is going away, and it's going to have a turbocharged 3-liter inline 6.
Yeah.
And
You
so
believe this is a big news story because
AMG made a big deal of going to 4-cylinders, and now they're going back to the 6.
Yeah, you were quite critical of that C43, if I recall.
so you're not going to say the thing about you think the E63 is canceled.
I didn't say
The
that.
big news story here
I
is
didn't say
that
that.
there is talk that there will not be another E63. Nick, you're an E-Class AMG man.
I am.
After I was first. Why don't we talk about what you want to talk about here? They still have not announced a new E63.
Yep.
The C63 was a 4-cylinder something or other that was
Yep.
bad.
Yep.
Do we think this E63 with a V8 is gone?
Remember when it was gone for a couple of years anyways?
Yeah, but that was some sketchy stuff that no one wanted to
It was real
talk
weird.
about.
Mercedes stopped selling V8s.
And remember,
for a bit.
it did come back.
Yeah.
There was a final edition 2023 model year before the transition to the next E-Class. But the new E-Class came out for 24 or 25. It's been out for like 2 years, and there is no E63 on the horizon. There's an RS6, there's an M5. We don't see an E63. There's an E53 now. That's been out for a while. I filmed a video with it, never posted it.
That's an interesting point. You even filmed the video with the Wagon. Is that coming out?
Yeah, someday.
All right.
But the E63 still eludes us.
I mean, wait and see kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, 1 minute we were all going EV, and then we were worried about CAFE standards and all that.
Yeah, so they're
But
just going to wait and see through the whole generation
Yeah,
of the
why
car.
not?
They're like,
Maybe.
we're not sure.
Probably the last E-Class.
Excuse you. This is my beloved car. I've owned every version of it.
Buy it now, buddy. By the way, we're combining a bunch of things and talking about this primarily because Mercedes' own numbering system and naming system is bad. For example, there was already a CLE 53 that had this engine,
Yeah.
but now it's going to replace the C63 and the GLC 4. Basically, there's an inline 6.
Mercedes-Benz naming's gotten tough. I had that AMG GT 4-door E-Performance GC63S.
That wasn't quite right, but sure.
It was as close as anyone's going to get.
Yeah.
And they're just,
Yeah.
you know, anyway.
You know, the sales training that I took says, you don't want to call anything like good, bad, ugly, or small, medium, large, because you're dissuading people.
Right.
So we say good, better, or best. Those are your options. Kind of
Got
like
it.
large, extra large. Like Mercedes is in that conundrum. They can't say, oh, this is the wimpy one.
I am
like it.
I am legitimately interested in what happens with the E63, 53 situation.
I hope it comes back.
I was recently breaking down why certain cars hold their value while others tank. And I wanted to go deep, not just surface level answers. I've been using Claude as a thinking partner for these projects, and it's completely changed how I tackle complex topics. Claude is the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It's a collaborator that actually understands your entire workflow and thinks with you. Whether you're debugging code at midnight or strategizing your next business move, Claude extends your thinking to tackle the problems that matter. The deep research feature pulls from 50 plus sources and finds connections that you'd never spot yourself. And you can build interactive tools with artifacts, no coding required. Even this ad copy was written with the help of Claude. Are you ready to tackle bigger problems? Get started with Claude today at claude.ai/cars. That's claude.ai/cars. And be sure to check out Claude Pro, which includes access to all of the features that we mentioned today. claude.ai/cars.
Okay, we got to move on to the Talk Cars segment. The Talk Cars segment is brought to you by Hagerty. Hagerty, which is the greatest automotive insurer in existence. You insure your stuff with Hagerty, right?
Sure do.
Me too. Do you?
don't
You don't
have
have any
anything
enthusiast
noteworthy.
cars. Yeah.
Yep.
That seems right.
Yep.
What about that Porsche? You don't have a Hagerty policy on that?
It's my daily.
I love Hagerty, and they insure all my cars, and I gotta up my insurance policy on some of them.
Yep. My dad actually sent me an article they wrote on the 63 T-Bird.
Oh yeah.
So they've actually got some pretty good magazines and publications.
Content. We truly love Hagerty.
Yeah.
We are thrilled that they are our sponsor, including our sponsor for the Eurocar road trip.
Yes,
which is
was
the next,
so much fun.
There's one of the Eurocars behind me. Do not buy this car. It's
Definitely.
for sale right now.
By the time people are watching this, it will already be ending in like the next hour.
Yep. So
you really
now's your
gotta-
chance. We have a couple of great videos.
We took the Eurocars on a road trip. Me and Nick imported Eurocars, an Audi A2 and a Fiat Multipla, which, by the way, yikes on that
Such
Multipla.
an incredible car. Not saying that's an incredible example of it, but it's such an incredible
Whoever
car.
ends up with this,
No,
don't drive it home, even if you live in San Diego.
No.
You get that thing flatbed.
No, it's great.
He just said,
I've driven it thousands of miles for kilometers.
You have not.
I have. Took it to LA
I'm going to
multiple
give you
times.
a direct quote in the office from Nick a minute ago. Filippo said, when you move it, there's no power steering fluid in it. Nick goes, no, there is power steering fluid in it. It's just in a bottle in the passenger seat.
There's a small leak which has been disclosed.
It's been disclosed, but not fixed.
I don't want to top it up and leak on your floors here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
It has been a problem.
Yeah. Anyway, bad car. And the A2 is a good car. And the 500 Abarth is...
It's a great car. It won the drag race. It was the fastest of the track.
The Eurocar road trip was excellent. We had a lot of fun doing it. We drove these cars out somewhere.
Yep.
We stayed in some desert hotel. We managed to find the world's only farm-to-table restaurant in Lake Elsinore or wherever the hell we were. And it was great.
It was delightful.
Agreed.
Okay, the episode that came out today, we're filming this on Wednesday, was us at a go-kart track.
Yeah.
That Fiat is just so fun around a go-kart track. It turns out a go-kart track is the right size. You don't need more speed than it has. It was like just truly such a blast. And then Sean went out and our camera guy went out just to do laps in the Fiat, and the Fiat held up beautifully.
Beautifully.
And then I drove it home. It was great.
Yeah, no, the Fiat's great. It's a great car. It's actually well known and well documented. Its durability and quality is well documented.
No, let's start with this. I have not treated that Fiat 500 Abarth Cabriolet nicely.
Right.
Goes to Redline often, gets an oil change once a year, gets nothing else. That's none of this is news.
Yeah.
It hasn't complained ever.
Yeah,
And
no.
it can go around a go-kart track many times.
Did
It'd
we
be great.
leave in all the clips of you having to jump start it, or did we?
That was the battery issue. It's not the car's fault. The battery was 7 years old. As a new battery, it starts right up.
starts right up, folks.
And honestly, with the jumper pack, it then started right up.
Does that Multipla start right up?
Yeah.
Except for that one time.
Yeah.
Great.
I replaced the battery, like you.
Yeah.
And then I replaced the crankshaft position sensor, which was the part that was acting up. So
And look at you now. You can drive around in this car as long as power steering is not a priority. You can drive around.
no, I mean it works fine.
How
It
often
just
do you top up
sweats.
the oil?
I haven't ever.
Good.
Two questions for you. One, I think the feedback was largely positive on the series, but the comments are overwhelmingly Doug Gear, Top Gear, you guys want to be Top Gear, blah, blah, blah. Is it possible to create content like this without being compared to Top Gear?
Thomas and James are figuring all that out right now.
Okay.
And the Francis Bourgeois. They're going to figure all that out. Me and you and Filippo, it was three guys in the desert with a producer giving us challenges. Any comparison is
unfounded.
unintentional.
Are we going to do another one of these?
No.
No?
No.
What if we all get E55 wagons?
Then what's the challenge?
We'll figure it out.
Okay, we got to move on and talk about the E55
no,
wagons.
No, wait. I guess I'd say one thing about
He
the Multipla.
bought a car on the
I
site.
gotta say one thing about the Multipla.
Okay.
We removed
Better be
all the
nice.
seats from the Multipla and
Yes.
fit a full go-kart into it.
That's all good and fine.
You could
and
have still fit 3 adults in
And
the
if
front.
it wasn't leaking-
that's the best car in the world.
if it wasn't leaking more fluids than are contained in a fluid transporter, then it would be great.
That's the best car. Not that one specifically. The Multipla is the best car in the
Honestly,
world.
A new Multipla would be great.
If
That
you
Multipla
go
would be
look
great.
for a used Multipla in Europe, you will be surprised
That
at
they're
how
all good.
high percentile of
Because
of
they were all
agree,
used.
one of the best.
They were reliable. That JCD 105, my dad had in a Fiat Mario weekend. He had
That
350,000
car
kilometers.
is bad. And if you buy it, you will regret it.
Doug, quit trying to alter the outcome of our bet. I shall prevail.
I'm not even concerned anymore about the bet. Especially now that I've seen that car run.
I think because this will come out. No, I can't say what the number is. Later, we will reveal what our bet was.
I can't believe the A2 is
I'm getting
almost
awfully
more.
close to the lower threshold.
Aren't you shocked by this? To me, all these cars are well beyond what they're worth.
Well, we
No.
did the picture of that one with the facing
good
away
headlight.
from the good headlight.
The
not one
headlight
that's
needs to be
Connotation.
replaced. That's nothing. That is that car's only issue. There was some air conditioning. Oh, sometimes the AC will not blow
Is
as
that
well.
disclosed?
It's fine.
Can we make sure that's
It's
I
all
want to be clear.
good.
Every flaw that I'm aware of on the 500 Abarth is disclosed. I've wrote a really long comment.
The A2 is honestly a really clean car in really
Yeah,
nice
it is
shape.
really nice.
It's just dull, but if you just want to use a car as a car to like drive
It's
around.
delightful for
I
that.
hope though that all three of these cars have the same fate that happened to the A-Class that I imported, which was
Yes.
that it gets destroyed while parked on
It
the
got
street
destroyed.
in Oakland. Okay, we got to move on. Nick brought up the E55 wagon. Nick, tell us what happened.
What happened?
I finally bought a car on the site.
Nick bought a car on the
I
site.
have sold 6 cars now, or 5.5 since the multiple hasn't ended yet.
Yeah.
I've never bought a car on the site.
Never bought a car on the site.
There were 2 auctions ending on Monday, a B5 RS4, which frankly is the car I wanted more, but required a little bit more out of pocket. And then this. And I think this E55 is interesting. 200,000 miles, which is
Wild.
high for this. So there was like 150 to 180 of these, under 200
Yeah.
total made. In terms of the
Sold
Wagon
in the US.
E55 W211.
Sold in the US.
Sold in the US. So very rare car to begin with. Like I've been looking for one for 6 months. I think I've seen 1 or 2 pop up.
Wait, you've been looking for 6 months, but you haven't brought it up to us. Your
Well,
friends
I've been
and
looking
colleagues
since I
till
got the
like a week
SLR
ago.
and decided my real goal here is I want to manual swap the SLR, but I'm too afraid to do that on that expensive of a car. So I wanted to find a M113K, which is not the same motor, but close enough, and manual swap that and see how I like it.
Yeah.
So finding another 55 motor AMG. This was the ultimate one because it's a dad car. It's cool. It's rare. I've never
is
had a
cool.
wagon. But they generally trade for 30 to 50, I would say. This one's mild up. It had an accident. It has an active check engine light. It has some other
It
spoke
flaws.
to Nick.
It
Spoke to
spoke to
Nick.
me as a value play because if you're going to tear it apart and manual swap it, you don't want like the most perfect, nice one ever, which I also drove.
Yeah.
So this one came across and I thought, hey, let's see.
It also actually looks
how we do.
okay considering the mileage. I personally think
it's not
that-
terrible.
I personally think that Flint Gray is the best looking color. I would only get silver because that was like the color and that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I think that Flint Gray looks
Yep.
baller on this
agreed.
car. It looks so nice.
The silver one, I did find one in the matching, not exact, but close enough to my SLR. But it was going to end up being probably double
So
this price.
you bought this car, you're going to manual swap it. So you're not even going to bring it here.
I don't even want to drive it. I'm sending it directly to DC Motorworks in Atlanta. They're going to swap it for me. They think it'll take about a month, so
and
mid-March.
they do Mercedes-Benz manual swaps. What
They've
is
done like 10 or so.
on what cars? These?
They've done Black Series to they've done like R classes and random stuff.
They've done R class.
So they're not
Didn't that
gonna-
have a column shifter. I think
Maybe
they
not an
haven't-
R class.
I think they haven't done R classes.
They've done stuff. They've done a CLK 55, so they've done the motor.
Oh, really?
They are not using the Crossfire trans. We're going to use one out of an 06 plus Mercedes.
Which presumably is actually the same transmission.
No, they've
It
made some
probably
improvements.
works.
There's a lockout difference. Cameron over there was trying to bring me up to speed a little bit, but I'm just trusting him that
Yeah.
it's going to turn out good. And if not, I think we'll be in it probably under 30 to have the first manual swapped E55 wagon. Someone will want it. I think I'll want it. I think I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you'll love it.
You are skeptical if I can pull it off or not, but we'll find out.
No. I think you'll be able to pull it off for
You
sure.
just think it'll take a while?
I think that it'll take a while and then you'll tire of the car. But I'm thrilled, honestly.
Yeah.
I had one of these. A lot of the cars that Nick buys, I had first.
No.
I had one. No.
You had the 63.
Yeah, but this
Much
body-
different.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
No, more
Facelift.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Not
actually, I
supercharged.
always preferred this. And when I was looking for my 63, back then, in the days before Cars and Bids and Bring the Trailer and all these things, the only way to find an AMG station wagon, I swear to God this is true, there was a thread on MB World forums. I'm dead serious. And it was E50, it was in the E-Class
Yeah.
AMG section, and it was the wagons for sale thread. And you would, if you wanted one, you would visit the thread 10 times a day. And I did. And one day, one popped up, and I was first. And that's how I got mine. I didn't want that car. I got a pewter E63 wagon. I wanted, honestly, a silver 55 wagon, but it was what was available.
Well,
And look at you now.
If you're lucky, I'll let you take it for a
Well,
spin.
then I later had a 212, which is a significantly better car. That would be cool to manual swap. Although that was also that had a
The
that had a thing.
AMGs
The AMGs had a
one.
thing. Yeah.
This is the best looking E-Class
Yeah.
wagon.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Wow. The best looking E-Class. No,
I
no,
like
no.
the
The
14s.
213s and the 214s look best.
No.
No, there's no question about that.
No.
That's insane.
I agree
People
there's
hate
no
the
question
headlines.
about the statement, but I said my answer.
Certainly for 17. What's interesting is I test drove over the weekend an SRT10 Ram, which I've wanted forever.
Yeah.
I was like, this one was a little rough, but I was pretty disappointed by it. They were asking
went
never
for a
driven one?
4-door automatic. That is just a pickup truck.
Had you never driven one before?
I tried to, and the seller's always so sketchy that like half the time the car doesn't exist or like it's being worked on or whatever.
Right.
So I've seen a lot and I've never gotten seat time. I was underwhelmed, and they wanted 17.5. He dropped the price to 17.4, but it's like, man, for the same money as a Ram pickup, I got a supercharged AMG wagon. So I'm pretty thrilled with it. You know I'm all about finding value. Whether it's a pristine Mercedes McLaren SLR Roadster that might might have had a small trunk fire, or a free Range Rover P38 given to me from a subscriber, I like to get a good deal. But let's talk about a different kind of asset that appreciates slightly better than a free Range Rover, AcreGold. Inflation's harder than a V10 at Redline. Gas parts, even car washes are through the roof. AcreGold lets you invest in 24-karat gold bars for just a few bucks a day. It's like buying a classic car that never rusts. The value of gold is up 70% year over year, and experts are predicting continued momentum. No finance degree needed, just pure, shiny gold delivered straight to you. Subscriptions start at only $30 a month. Go to getacregold.com and enter for free to win 2 5-gram ancient gold bars, ending at the end of the month, that is February 28th. Protect your money and keep it golden. GetAcreGold.com. That's GetAcreGold.com. Now back to the car talk.
I want to take this time in the podcast, since we're talking AMG Wagon, to tell everybody that I am still on the hunt for a facelift W210
Facelift is important.
E55 AMG Wagon with a third row. I am desperately searching. I will pay. I will do whatever it takes. Now, I announced this last week, and if you have one of these, they didn't sell them in the U.S. They have them in Europe and Asia and such. Facelift. Here's the quality. It's quality. Facelift. That means 2,000 and up.
And by the way,
you can tell from the steering wheel. If it has steering wheel controls, it's a facelift.
You can't tell from literally anything.
That is complete. The rocker panels, the front end treatment, the rear end treatment. There's this entire interior.
You didn't say the rear end, front end. No, the treatment.
Well, the trim, the way it looks.
This is like the E39 facelift that only Canon can tell.
The car also drives significantly better post facelift. That's the real reason I want it. So facelift. So that's 2000, late 2000 and up.
Yep.
Facelift, wagon, third row, silver. If you know of such a car,
left-hand drive.
This is
also.
2000, 2001, 2002. I would probably consider right-hand drive.
Are there right-hand drive ones?
If you know of such a car, email us at Sean, that's S-E-A-N, at carsandbids.com. Sean at carsandbids.com. Now, last week, I announced that I was looking for this car, and many people reached out with the usual stuff. And I forgot that even though this is exactly how I found my 993, it also led to an enormous amount of BS. People are like, here's one, and it's a pre-facelift. Here's one, doesn't have a third row. One guy sent us a long email, Sean, talking about how I should instead look at C-Class AMG wagons, and then sent pictures of all of them as if I have never heard of the C-Class AMG wagon.
Thank you for your passion.
Dude, I know it's there. Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Are you not... Also, if you're a Mercedes expert,
Can
and
you
you
pull
know
up this car?
factually that car didn't exist.
No, we've
there are
confirmed that
3
it
rows.
exists. Can you pull up S210E? I want a picture of the car on the thing. Throughout my entire rant, whoever's editing this, I want a giant picture of the car on the site. Yeah. This exact thing. That's a okay, there you go. That car.
Oh, that's
that car. But in silver and with a third row.
And we got to have those wheels.
Yeah, well, those are OE wheels. I'll find.
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah. This car, this is what I want with a third row in silver. I don't care where you are. Even if you're in Kuala Lumpur and your primary daily driver is one of those Protons that I just mentioned. You get me one of these, I'll buy it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you think that when you get this car, you will learn how to drive a manual transmission?
You know, I was wondering.
You were just waiting to pull that out.
Maybe we could do a collaboration where I had a professional driving instructor kind of give me some pointers.
I think that might be wise.
The problem was, at the time, I had the Mercy, and let's just say the clutch pedal felt a little different between a multiple and a Murcielago.
Oh, sure. That's his.
You know.
I think he had sold the Mercy.
I think so too.
No, but that's what I've been driving as a manual for a while. So
this man stalled whilst trying to start a drag race.
A drag race. And that happens actually. But the real surprise is he did it in a diesel, which has so much low-end torque and a light clutch that usually you can just
He
kind of...
stalled in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It was a whole problem.
I want one of these. Filippo, are you doing anything to find it for me? Okay. I'll give you $1,000 if you find me one.
Wow.
Think about it.
I would like a Carrera GT jacket. And
I want to give another cars that I think you'll appreciate.
Oh,
Do you remember back in the day when I would review a Tesla, and if I'd said anything negative, there would be thousands of people on Twitter who would lose their mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, I haven't gone on Twitter in years. Obviously, it's a cesspool. It's a complete disaster. And so no one really goes on it anymore except crazy people.
It's called X now.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm on it. The other day, I for some reason or another, I had to go on it. There was some...
Oh, did you want to respond to an emergency alert? Did you want to see the emergency alert?
tweet now.
It's a real problem where a lot of governments, when they issue like state governments, when they issue an emergency alert, they actually just link to an X post. To see the post, you need to have an X account, and it's really a problem.
So I had to go I clicked on the Twitter link or X, whatever, for the first time in probably a year and a half, and I clicked on it, and it was just after we had put up some reel where we talked negatively about Tesla, like in the last pod. I don't remember even what we said. It was something, and those people are still out there.
And they're all on it.
Still out there, and I was so here for it. They are still, and I assume a lot of them are bots. Like, none of them have real people as profile pictures, or none of them have real locations. Like, I assume a lot of them are either bots or like
Elon
paid.
Musk doesn't accept bots.
Yeah, right. There's no bots at all on that platform. But those people are still there being like, Doug is paid by Big Auto. Like, Doug needs gas cars to survive. Like, and I don't even respond anymore. So I'm looking at it and I'm realizing they're like spitting themselves up because I'm not even responding to defend myself. They're just getting each other like successively angrier with each subsequent.
It's turning into Facebook. It's just like
the boomers. And then it reminded me of us of something. I'm going to tell a story here that I haven't told you guys.
Whoa.
Many years ago, when we launched Cars and Bits, there was a fellow, and I hope he sees this. This is why I'm telling this story. There was a fellow on the Twitter, and he was in Western Pennsylvania, and he was very critical of Cars and Bits. And later, I determined who he was and his association with a competitor of ours. And he would constantly be talking up the competitor and talking down Cars and Bits. And eventually it just annoyed me so much that I spent an hour, went way back in his post history and found some racist tweets that he had posted from 10 years ago.
as you did at the time.
And so then one day, the next time he talked badly about Cars and Bids, I had screenshotted and linked the tweets, and I was like, "Is this you?" And within 30 seconds, he had locked down his profile, blocked me. Like, he was scared because he realized that I knew who he was, and I found out that he'd done racist tweets. And you know what? I regret it. I regret doing it because he was actually kind of fun to back and forth complain with, and I went on the Twitter and he is still on there complaining about Cars and Bids. And I'm like, you know what? But he's unlocked his profile. And I'm like, you know what? I am not going to bring up your racist tweets anymore. And I hope that someday we can have, again, very uncivil, inappropriately angry discourse. And I regret the airing of the racism. Yeah. Because I actually enjoyed the back and forth complaint.
I really need the off-camera version of the story.
That's the whole story. That's the whole story.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm proud of... No, I don't know if I'm proud of your growth on this or not. Is that growth?
I'm not sure. Like, I think the correct thing to do would be like, hey, this guy is a racist, right? But I think like...
That's acceptable now, I think.
in some ways. Yeah. And it was 15 years ago and all this stuff. But most importantly, I just miss arguing with the fellow. And now he's blocked me and all this stuff, which he should have, because I know his racist past, you know, like... right.
If somebody knows your racist past, you block them.
But that was something that reminded me... Exactly. So, that was something that I was reminded about when I went on Twitter. I was like, I wonder what that guy's doing now, because I hadn't looked at his profile in like 2 years. And sure enough, his most recent post was complaining about Cars and Bits.
Fascinating.
Yes!
Fascinating.
Anyway, deep regret.
I think it's great you outed him.
Have you
really?
Yeah. I think the best thing you can do with people like that is just hold up a mirror and let them just see how they look and sound. And so,
is that how you feel when we send you the clips we have to cut out of the podcast?
Sometimes, yes. No,
Okay, all right.
It is not uncommon that someone will say, "Here's how you behaved," and I think on it, and I say, "I wish I hadn't done it that way." And I hope this gentleman took that
agree with
opportunity.
all of that, but I guess my point is, I don't get in a lot of internet fights anymore. Like back in the day when I was really fighting for my life, there was a part of me that really had fun. You know what I mean?
You used to engage more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Including with the haters. And that was what hit me with the Tesla thing. I signed on to Twitter and I was like, oh my God, the haters are still here. Holy crap, I can't believe people are still doing this. And then I was like, what about that guy, the racist hater guy? That's where this all went.
The haters, a lot of them now, I think you can have those conversations on Reddit in the way that Twitter used to be. There's a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more intelligent. But like, I got an alert on Reddit the other day for your /Doug DeMuro. Yeah. And like, man, people say weird, like about me. The problem even I'm like nobody. And they were like talking smack on me.
The problem I have on Reddit is Reddit seems to me to be like a much smaller cross section of reality.
I think X is becoming that.
A
lot of the normies
but
have
back
left
when
backs.
this guy
And they
was
use it,
racist, I
And-
think it was a more
And
broader.
Reddit is becoming more
Reddit's
mainstream.
like 13-year-old kind of basement kids. It's like
I don't think so anymore.
23-year-old basement kids, but it's not like reality,
I mean, keep
unfortunately.
in mind that Reddit has 1 billion people active every month.
Sure. However, the people who post like in the cars area, I think
Oh,
is
yeah.
different than people who
Yeah,
are posting like
perhaps.
cooking tips.
Yep.
And I think some of it is very useful, and I think a lot of it is kind of sketch people.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Like if you go and see some of the complaints about us or about any of the
But
car YouTubers,
what
it's
used
like
to
kind
be
of
really cool about Twitter was it used to be more intelligent people that had done like deep cuts and deep research and unique insights. Reddit does attract that kind of clientele where there are people that are like going a little bit past the surface level, and I do learn stuff from it versus I don't think that's true.
But I
anymore.
think that's not happening in like the general subreddits where like the whatever sounds right gets upvoted and stuff. I think that happens more in more specific ones where you find out more
the
stuff.
types of insults I get are like, I hope that guy has problems with his BECM module on his P30. Like deep insult and rude, but like
they
that isn't
hit
just
deep.
like, oh, your mom's fat or whatever. Like it is like deeply specific.
I wanted before we move on from talk cars, this podcast is going to go way long. I want to talk about your F-250.
Yeah.
Yes, me
All
too.
right. My F-250 is still at my late father-in-law's lower driveway dirt
Yeah,
loader.
we were going to tow it home with a Bentley and a U-Haul.
Yeah, that
but
didn't happen.
shockingly, that didn't.
but a gentleman named Dave, who runs Iconic Automotive in Northern Arizona,
Yeah.
reached out. Actually, his wife Stephanie reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, Dave runs the shop. He can go out take a look." Dave went out last Sunday, took a look at the truck, did a little bit of diagnostics, and he's going to have it towed. We're going to have it towed next Monday to his shop to do a little bit of work. We got to maybe drop the fuel tanks, clear out some old gas. That was one of the problems. Flush out the carb, maybe rebuild it. Then do a little bit of other work, and then it will be ready to be shipped down here to me. And I'll be ready to drive. Tires aside, I gotta get new tires.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. It's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Dave has been incredibly helpful.
On President's Day, they're getting it.
yeah. Do you think?
President's Day is in like a week.
Yeah. Next
That's
Monday.
this Monday.
Next Monday.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get it to the shop.
As you said. Well, let me just ask this. What do you think the chances of any of this?
It's all happening.
I don't think Dave's going to
shout
let
out
you
If you
down.
can get it to a qualified mechanic, cars like this are not that complicated.
They're really
Parts
not.
are available. Like,
Also, in Northern Arizona, what Dave told me was that his shop mostly does like diesels and a bunch of like fleet vehicles for the local government. But he grew up working on carbureted old trucks.
When do you think we'll see this car? Like, then Filippo's got to get it here.
honestly,
even then.
I'll be in Phoenix this weekend through Tuesday, so I might pop up.
You're going
Pop
back
on
to
over to
Go
Iconic
meet
Automotive.
Dave.
Go meet Dave.
Please do. Dave seems like a great guy. He races out at the racetrack outside of Phoenix.
Oh, cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pumped that it's
his
now
race car.
at least legitimately in the hands
I know,
of a qualified
I am too.
human being.
I am too. It's
Filippo
thrilling.
and an F250. That'll be a sight.
Yeah.
Who do you think will get their car back first? Me with the manual
Me.
E55 or you with an F250?
You know what's funny, by the way? The Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny had
Yeah.
an F-250 out there on the
Oh,
field.
did he?
Not quite my gen, but
The Super Bowl halftime show, not the alternative America one, had an F-250,
Yeah.
but the Bad Bunny one had an F-250 with Puerto Rican license plates on it. This is right up Filippo's alley.
Yeah.
I want to
excited
give a
about
quick
the-
shout out. We had an event here. I don't remember what it was for.
for Avant.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a great car community.
Avance, which was awesome. We had it was a great
Yeah, it
event.
was fun.
It was fun. We had a great time. Anyway, fellow came up to me at this event from Diecast Talk. You go on Instagram, you follow him, Diecast Talk. And he got me this.
Wow.
Which is a Sequoia TRD Pro diecast.
No way.
And it's my exact car, except there's a red interior, which I wanted.
And no mods.
What do you mean mods? My car,
Well, you
Debadged.
removed the running board,
which this
changed the
car
wheel.
has the running
You changed
boards
the wheels.
removed. I
You
painted the wheels a lighter
You also
gray.
removed something else.
It just never had a roof rack.
no,
It
no,
was
you removed
optional.
something else.
You
Something else
extended the cold start to be longer because you just wanted to enjoy that.
Anyway, he gave me this and he said, look, he makes these diecast cars. And he said, usually he does like super limited runs. They sell it in like 10 minutes. And I remember when the Sequoia came out, I had not known about it right away and it sold out immediately, but he saved one for me and I have it. And I'm so thrilled. And also I am back on my Sequoia. I am in love with my Sequoia again. I have no interest in an LX Overtrail anymore. I am in love with the Sequoia.
That makes one of you.
Yep.
It's so good. It's so, but the thing that you don't understand, you've never gone off-roading and you've never had a family. And so, you know what the funny thing is? He's making fun of me, but in 4 years or whatever the
gonna have a
usual
Sequoia.
timeline is, he's going to end up with a Sequoia.
But he's going to end up with a TRD off-road.
Yeah, or like
doesn't exist, I know,
a
but-
Capstone or SR5, some BS Sequoia. He's like, I always liked these things.
You were correct in that I will get a newer, better version of what you currently have.
Oh, God. We can't go down this road.
Nick
Although,
only buys cars that I've already owned.
we can't go down this road.
Yeah, says the RRC owner.
can't go to.
I had an L322.
Lick my P38 boots. All right.
Lick my BECM module.
Yes. It's probably broken.
All right,
It's raining out right now. I suspect it's getting waterlogged.
I got to move on to the market report, which is brought to you by Ryan's Air Conditioning. Folks, it's broken. And it's right now, it's 61 degrees here in San Diego. I don't know if he's going to make it through the night.
He informed me he has both a fitted sheet and a duvet. So I think one strategy Ryan might want to try is just the fitted sheet. Just sort of take the duvet off.
No, Sean, meanwhile, has never had air conditioning at all. Ryan's, I couldn't sleep in the middle of winter. Anyway, market report's brought to you by Ryan's Air Conditioning, which God, we hope a miracle will come and it'll get fixed before it gets up to 66.
We're really having about a bad weather here.
We'll build some buffer into the filming schedule for air conditioning.
All right. I want to talk about the 458. Can you pull up the 458?
Yes.
We sold the 458 yesterday. Did you see
Big money.
This was a 458, which has become kind of a darling in the used Ferrari community.
For good reason.
The 458, the last NA Ferrari, the first Ferrari that adopted this design language, which kind of since permeated throughout the entire lineup. We sold a 1,400-mile car. Yeah. That also is rare. Ferraris used to have super low miles as kind of a matter of course, but they've become so usable and so relatively reliable. People are using them a lot more.
And just mass-produced.
Yeah. So this car had 1,400 miles on it. Yeah, one of them we sold with 48,000 miles, 30,000, et cetera. But when we sold 1,400 miles on it, sold for $380,000.
That's real money.
And our friend Sam, whose air conditioning works, he made the point that 458s are almost more expensive than SF90s.
Yeah.
SF90, which is Ferrari's newest, supposedly almost hypercar with 8,000 horsepower that nobody wants, and they can't find anybody to buy used ones. They're selling in the low 400s.
Yep.
And this is a 380 number on not even a Speciale or a whatever, like just a regular 458 Spider.
Yep. A base like that is a low spec SF90 surely is less than this.
This further proves my continued theory that mid-2000s to I guess whenever hybridization took over, era is like the era, and we're already starting to see cars from that era eclipse later cars that are better, right? Like the Ford GTs and this and the SF90, which is laughable. Like the market, the used market, the enthusiast collector market certainly knows what it wants.
It is kind of interesting that the 458 is getting this kind of recognition. Obviously, it's a beautiful car. The styling did set the tone for Ferrari for a decade after this car came out. Yeah. But it's also, unlike the Ford GT, the 05 Ford GT, manual, raw, in a way that the new Ford GT isn't. This is an automatic car.
Yeah,
this has computer.
The only real thing it has going for it was the last NA car, but it wasn't even like the last gas car or even the last V8 car. But nonetheless, the market has really coalesced around.
It is also weird that, imagine you now bought this car with 1,400 miles. You're afraid to put miles on it, maybe?
Probably.
But like it's a 458. Like it's a car to drive. But it's not really a collector car.
Maybe, but I think that this sale proves that super low mile 458s are going to continue to be more and more valuable. I have a suspicion that good low mile 458s become really valuable someday as sort of the end of an era. If I were to have bet on this 10 years ago, I would have put my money on the 430. It's more mechanical. Yeah. They've still made manuals. Like it has sort of this last old school feel, whereas this is a dual clutch car that was made in larger numbers, but that's not what the market has shown. The 430s continue to be shockingly cheap for what they are, and 458s never got cheap, even high mile ones.
I do think it's a little bit of the 458 I think is a more beautiful car than the 430.
I agree.
More striking, more modern looking. The 430 looks
totally
like an old car now.
Yep, agreed.
But yeah, it's surprising.
Nonetheless, I'm like really shocked because it is kind of it's dual clutch on, It's not quite
it's like a little bit like you buy a 430 if you want a Ferrari from that era, and also a gated 430 is real money. Yep. Like a factory gated manual 430
that's true.
Is real money.
Yep.
But this, even if you're considering a new Ferrari or just barely used, this might feel like the more analog, older version.
No, I think that's exactly it. I think the NAV8, the sound, and yes, it probably feels more connected, et cetera. No massive screens like in 296, which is also an awesome car, but the market is making a decision here. 380 is real money. You can go buy a lot of new cars, including new Ferraris, for either that or damn close to it.
Yep.
And market loves 458.
And about 3 C8 E-Res.
You ever thought about a 458? You rather have an SLR than a 458?
Yep. That's all I got to say about that. I like the 430, if anything, because they could manual swap it or buy it manual. But
Yeah. And I had a
mean,
360,
they,
so
are,
you
they are
figured-
really pretty cars. Yeah,
better.
Yeah, get the next gen, the better one.
Yeah. That's what you do. I had an 06.
They're pretty cars. 380. What you could buy a Ford GT,
Yeah.
a 506.
Can you?
Yeah,
Like
a
a rough
mild
one.
one, but
Yeah.
not a bad car, like a bad
Yeah,
car.
not a 1,400-mile one. But,
You could buy a driver for 05 Ford GT for a red one for sure. For
but if you're
$375.
super into Ferraris, you definitely want a Ferrari. You want a DCT, and you want almost 600 horsepower. I get it. It's not me.
It is a very good sweet spot, this car, if the mechanical isn't quite your biggest priority, but instead like performance and stuff without going too modern. This car is a good sweet spot.
Yep.
I do think for me, there's a lot of things I like more about that 430. Most of which is the fact that it still is sick, but also it just, to me, it's more of like an old school type car. But I still think this is awesome.
Yep.
And the market does too.
Clearly, the market is thinking about it as a long-term play, right? Like, if
I
you
think
want to
so.
drive, buy a higher
And
model
that's
one,
also
or
proven-
a 488.
Also proven with Speciale and Speciale
Yes.
apparative values,
Yes.
which are crazy.
Yes.
Should we move on to questions?
Yes.
Okay, I want to move on to questions. The questions are brought to us by Nick Roshan and his YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to Nick Roshan. Pull it up, Nick. Oh, yeah. Pull up the Nick YouTube channel. Let's just leave it up there for a minute. Is this?
This is a Cars and Bits account homepage. I don't
See
think
what the
anybody
Cars and
watches
Bits
that.
account. This is the Nick Roshan YouTube channel. It is excellent. This video, a little underperformer.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think people are tired of the multiply. It's been a lot.
We're all tired of the
I
multiply.
want to be clear. I do believe that I've watched each of these videos. This is not my
Thank you.
personal YouTube
The next
Oh, yeah.
owner will be especially tired of the multiply within a couple of hours of picking it up.
It's a great car. The multiples, it's like an incredible car.
I'm
Not that
so,
one.
I'm so
The
happy that I did that for multiple reasons. Much like the
Multiple
E50,
reasons?
55, yeah, there you go.
Cute.
The E55 is my bellwether to manual swap an AMG. The Multipla was my bellwether to try importing a vehicle and understanding how the process works. So I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. It checked all the boxes a little quicker than like a Murcielago might. You know.
Okay, next, the questions are all really good this week. And remember, you can ask us questions. You go to carsandbids.com, you click on the community tab,
Yep.
and there's a post in there that says, questions, ask us your questions. Oh. And then that's where you can
I
ask.
tried to slip in one for my sister. Did you see that?
Yeah, about your sister's trying to get a van or something
Yeah.
from Ohio. She's in Ohio.
What minivan should my sister get?
She wants a van that can handle Ohio winters. The only four-wheel drive minivan available today is
The Sienna.
which also happens to be the best minivan. So she's good. Get
Okay.
that. But tell
A
her
different option? Chevy Astro.
Oh, pull up. Have we sold
they still
Astros?
make those?
No,
No, of course not.
Nick.
I don't know, man. Do you think I'm shopping for vans?
25 years since they've made the Chevy Astra.
Oh, we have one live right now.
Right now, we have an Astra live.
I will
not
send
a
this to
plan.
her.
With four-wheel drive. Where is it? It must be in Ohio.
Florida.
Oh, it's in Florida.
But actually, unfortunately, this has a camper package.
But those are seats. Those become seats.
Wow.
Nick,
It looks new to me.
you got to get her to get one of the things that I think this wheel design really benefited
I
from
don't think
was
she's
if
trying
the-
to kidnap
if
children.
the,
Just
if the center part, no,
haul
Nick, this
hers
is a
around.
quality van. If the center part matches the other side, it looks like a modern vehicle. You know, these
Yeah.
were sold, I think, through 05.
I think
Yeah.
that's correct.
Which is crazy to think about.
All right,
the
well-
Ford GT was on sale.
Kristen and Scott, it sounds like a Sienna or an Astra.
You got to find a Sienna. It's hard.
Yeah.
All right. Next, first question from Baja GP. Doug, your A140 is dead. I owned it for 6 months in Texas. Sold it on Cars and Bids. It was totaled by an old lady in a minivan.
Yeah.
I mentioned this actually in one of my own videos a couple days ago. My question is this: you said you're not sentimental about your old cars. However, do you go back and look them up to see your current state of existence, knowing that your one of one USA 140 dies by an old woman in a minivan while parked in the street? Are you at least a little sad? No.
One of
Next question.
I am, by the way.
thrilled. You're sad.
I saw that car during Car Week because the current owner, until it got hit, lived in the Bay.
Yeah.
And they brought it down. It was great to see it again.
Yeah.
I had missed it.
Yeah. Well, you're the one. Next question from Corch Carson IG. Doug and background characters. That's
Harsh.
the two of you.
Oh, harsh. That's as bad as bringing up the module.
Why? Why have you not reviewed a Pajero Evolution yet? The same reason I don't review any car yet. I haven't found the right one, but I will. Don't worry. We got a Z32 300ZX coming, which is a big deal. I've been asked about that car for years and years. We finally found the right
a
one.
nice
Now it's
one.
here. Now we're reviewing it. When a great Pajero Evo comes that's being for sale on the site, we will pick it up. I need a stick. That's one of the big problems.
Yeah.
They're almost all automatics. A lot of them were heinously modified. We can find a nice, clean stick, and then we will get it here, and I will review it, and Sean will pay to ship it here.
The market report on that one is interesting. I want to buy one. I've been looking for one for a while.
Yes, that'd be cool.
They
I've never had one. so you
initially
can't.
there was a lot of hype and they were selling for decent numbers.
Yeah, they're down.
they're down enough now that it doesn't really make sense to import, like the multiple.
Oh, really?
If you import and then sell, like maybe you get there's certainly no like profit arbitrage.
Interesting. There's like we're capped on the number of Pajero Evos that
the
are
market's
here.
really shifted down. Maybe it starts to stabilize, but I think it's slowing down the influx of new ones for sale.
It is interesting. I'll give you a little market report, which you were going to talk about with the RS4. Like one thing that I've noticed
That
now
too.
repeatedly is that if you really want a car that becomes legal, if you can just wait 24 months, the market will be completely different. The R34 GTRs tanked after 2 years. The B5 RS4s, which were 100 grand, are now nice ones, are like lucky to find the 60s.
Yeah.
Cheap ones are in the 40s.
The competitor site, who may or may not be involved with a Twitter poster, we don't know, sold one for like 45.
Yeah, I mean, like we sold one from the 90 around. 90.
I bid on that one that went to 86.5.
Yeah.
I bid up to like 85.
Right.
Which
And
that
now-
car later sold for 85.
Yeah.
There's a million examples. Pajero Evo is a great example, but there's a million examples of once the car is legal, there's a mad rush for people who've always
Supply and
wanted one to
demand.
get it, and then the market floods with them, and they absolutely crash.
Yeah.
And that's,
So Pajero Evo, I think, or at that 24 mark, where I'm eyeing them because I think they're going to start to
what are
become
they
values
selling
again.
for? 20s?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want a manual and you're more picky about condition and rust and stuff,
Which Nick's not.
you need to spend 30s to get a decent one.
A lot
but
of them are
they're
rough.
available for 20s.
Yeah, and I bet automatics are a lot of them were rough. That's one of the things I learned about Pajero Evos when I was thinking about doing it, is that a lot of them were driven hard and they
it's
were
a
off-roaded.
Mitsubishi,
and-
you know?
Yeah, there's that too. Next question from Auto Autopsy. Question for Sean. How much junk mail do you get when the pod blasting your email? I'll tell you the answer. You want to know the answer? You can find out. You just send him an email. Sean@carsandbids.com. That's SEAN@carsandbids.com.
By the way, shout out to that guy. He's we talked about Saabs a lot in Arizona.
Next question from Soho. This is a great question, or maybe Sojo. The Carrera GT's shifter placement seems completely unique, not replicated by any other cars to my knowledge.
Untrue.
Literally behind you.
Untrue. And over there,
Jeez.
the Fiat 500 bars and the multiple.
This is I'm reading the question. I didn't write the question. That was going to be most of what I said. And yet it's also considered one of the greatest
Us
driving
background
cars.
characters are offended by this
What
question.
is the shifter? What is the driving
Toyota
experience
first.
like with the shifter in that position? Why is it good and why has it been replicated? Okay, the driving experience is fantastic with the shifter in that position because it is right next to the steering wheel.
and the multiple has it too.
The huge benefit and the reason that every sports car should be like this is because it's just less of a distance for you to take with your hands. So you're boom, 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 and you can do it a lot quicker. And I really mean that. I really think it's great. The Carrera GT, as these guys are pointing out, is not the only car like that. The car actually that I most associate with that shifter placement is the Alpha Spider, which used that shifter placement from the 1960s all the way through the mid-1990s. Any Alpha Spider, any old Alpha Spider that we've had will have it. And you can click on, like that. The shifter is in the exact same thing. It's mounted high. You can see it's almost laughable how it's like mounted where the air conditioning, controls ought to be. But they do that for the exact same reason. These were drivers' cars, and you can see, right there. Same exact thing, almost the exact same placement. The reason I think most cars, and then there are others too. The Civic Si, the hatchback Civic
happened
Si
to
was
with
like that.
Rubber boot.
The reason I think most cars don't do it is because it actually takes some real design and engineering work to get a shifter placed where controls should be.
Yeah.
Like in this car, stuff had to happen to make this work. They had to move stuff out of the way and all this crap. In the Multipla, which is sort of like that, the shifter's
It's a little
higher. It's the same kind of thing. Like there's a lot of controls that ended up having to get pushed in a weird way up. And so it's actually kind of a complicated thing. But I think if you were to ask car enthusiasts about their dream shifter placement, it would be there, but it comes with some real sacrifices. The Carrera GT's radio is mostly unreachable from the driver's seat as a result of that. It's pushed so far into the dashboard.
The Fiat does it perfectly.
The 500 Abarth?
Yeah, the shifter's there, not in the way of anything
Show
else.
us. Show us.
I'll show you.
The shifter's pretty low. It just happens to be in the middle thing. It's not in the center. That's not the same.
Yes, it is.
It's getting there.
It's quite high.
That's that's not similar at all.
It's incredibly similar.
It's just no. The Carrera GTs is like literally here.
Oh, look at that poor RAV4 in the background.
Lower car.
Wow.
Solid hit.
I accuse our photographer
I was like,
of
just give me whatever you got in cash and we'll call it a
The
day.
photographer took it over by the RAV4 to make the Abarth look better.
I really accuse him of trying to compare it to that RAV4, which looks tough.
Okay, question from FBMAV51. Question for Nick.
Oh,
now
no.
that some time has passed, does Nick regret selling the Murcielago?
Sounds like a question you submitted. I do.
Okay, next question.
No, there's much more nuance to it. That car was very special. I really had a lot of fun with it. I know the new owners had a lot of fun with it too. Mercy's continue to rise. So financially, I look at it and say, like, would be a good place to own and see the values go up. I think the manual experience I do miss having an automatic, and like the V12 and the exhaust gave a sense of occasion the SLR does not have. That being said, the SLR for my season of life is so usable. Like, it is almost a daily supercar. Like, I could drive it to Arizona and back without having a headache or not having AC or a functioning roof. So like, I think what I got is a good for me, for my use case right now, but the Mercy was so special. And I do see friends getting Diablos or Countaches, and they look at it with a sort of a lustful gaze, you know, and they're like,
The Mercy?
yeah, compared to, you know, like a Countach.
I think that a
lot of people are saying they kind of regret the Countach, you know.
I definitely don't regret the Countach, but I do wish I could add another Lambo without being perceived as
And
a
what
Lambo
would it be?
guy.
What would you get?
Probably a gated pre-LP Mercy.
Oh yeah. And pewter?
I think your color was a embarrassment to the car.
No. I love that color, and I
It's
think
like,
a lot of people
take
did.
the craziest design car of all time and put the most subtle.
No, that's
basic color.
that's why it worked for us that don't need. Oh, look at me! I'm a famous YouTuber.
That car, you're right. That car was certainly not a look at me. You turn
Yeah.
on that car, the exhaust. People upstairs would complain, "Is there a bomb going off?" And
If you're the kind of guy that buys a chrome Porsche Carrera GT jacket, then yes, maybe that color is not for you. For us subtle men of refined taste, the Grigio on Terrace is a lovely color for the car.
I do love that car. I think one nuance that the audience, a lot of the audience kind of still doesn't get, even though we've talked about it a little bit, is that like you're not a collector. Like your goal wasn't to just accumulate stuff. You want to accumulate experience.
If I had both space and money, I would have kept it. Easy.
We all would, right? Like every one of us would keep every car. But like at the end of the day, if there becomes a constraint, whether it's me with 4-car garage or Leno with 100. Like at some point, there is a constraint. And you can't keep them all. But you do want to have varied experience.
It was so, even the other day, I heard one like just like move, and I was like, I miss that sound. Like there's just a lot of things that were really special about the car.
You're going to be back in Lambo world
I agree,
eventually.
by the way, that the market
Eventually.
has moved on them, but not crazy.
Not
Like, you could
crazy,
grab
but
one.
it's moving in the right direction. If you're owning one, every month that goes by, you're thinking, all right, I'm a little bit better in terms of the investment in this car.
Speaking of, next question is from Alex D. Question for Nick. How do you have enough time in the day for a full-time job, YouTube, lowballing people on Facebook Marketplace, working on broken cars, and all the cars and bids filming?
That's a good question.
I saw this in advance.
If we need to cut this, we can.
I have a very supportive wife. First of all, like she picks up so much slack. I think she puts up with a lot from me, and occasionally I way overcommit myself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I burn the candle at both ends for a while. I'm trying to pare that back a little bit. As I just, like my YouTube channel, I'm no longer going to be like, oh, I need to post weekly or I'm going to lose all my cred. Like, I don't care. You all do all the hard work here. I just show up and you turn the camera on and then we say things that may or may not get cut. But it is a lot, for sure.
Nick is... he's got a deal. He's got a deal happening right now.
How ironic, huh?
Okay, last question. This is an America question, so you'll like it. This is from Sir Yama.
Oh, yeah, I wrote down my own sleeves.
No, this is different than the one you wrote. Last question, this one's from Sir Yamalot. We've gone way too far. Filippo gets a 911 instead of a Corvette.
Yeah.
Filippo said he wanted a Corvette, got a 911.
Yeah.
Kenan gets a Mercedes instead of a Viper.
Well, that was a mistake.
My questions are, do you feel like there's a negative connotation owning an American car after a certain age? And two, would you consider another special trip with the gang where everyone has an American car?
For the record, we did that. I had an American muscle car. I won.
I want to tell you something. And I'm dead serious about this. Every time I drive my Ford GT, I am proud of the fact that it was designed in America by an American and built in America and is an American car for an American brand. And I mean that with all seriousness. I think that is the greatest American car ever built. And so whether Filippo has some embarrassment about driving an American vehicle or whether Nick drives a Ram SRT 10 and then decides in the end to buy an E55 station wagon, there are some of us who still wave the red, white, and blue.
I'm down to do an American adventure. I have a Focus.
I had a Focus.
Yeah, no,
How come you guys don't support our nation? You guys all, between you, have like 8, 9
Somehow
cars.
I have become a German car guy.
Yep.
All my cars are German,
You got two,
except for the
you got
Fiat.
3 German cars.
Which is built in Mexico. Which is part
built
of
in
the
Mexico,
USMCA.
but going to be sold and
Yeah.
not an American brand.
I have a Ford F-250. Wait, what am I saying? We're good.
You don't have a Ford F-250. Honey, until that car moves under its own power,
How about we
or moves at all, honestly.
take an adventure trip to Normal, Illinois?
Nick, why
do
don't
it.
you have an American car? You often
long
come on the
trip.
pod and say crazy stuff.
He does. He has a no way. The Ford Focus is your wife.
Yeah,
Why don't
yeah,
you-
that's true. I already disavowed it.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
You
mine.
disavowed it earlier. You can either
Yeah.
take credit for it or
I don't really care about this one.
But
you don't
your
care.
in-laws have
I mean,
all
you don't
American
want an
cars.
American car. You don't believe in America.
I'm a citizen of the globe.
Oh my
Oh
God!
my
Here we
goodness.
go.
Wait, let's talk about the fact that in this video you drove almost exclusively in one of these videos in a C5 Corvette. So you
Yeah,
are
I
American.
love that Corvette too. I would love to do more adventure series. I hope you all have both the budget and resources to do more of them.
I don't think we have the desire. I think that's our primary issue. Is that
Nick,
we-
let's
I've got-
let's
I've
go.
got desire.
Let's
That's
go.
great, Nick.
You and I, let's
Yeah.
go.
you guys have fun. Meanwhile, I'm going to drive my actual American car that actually belongs to me. Guys,
the Sequoia.
and by the way, built in Texas, hardcore.
It shows. It shows.
San Antonio, though.
San Antonio, best city in Texas.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. It's been an absolute pleasure. Nick, do you have any parting thoughts for us here on the pod?
Bid on Filippo's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bid on my car.
I think he deserves it.
Thank
Best
you.
pod we ever did. Go watch James and Thomas on the Grand Tour there with the other fella. Goodbye, everyone.